you like to make $30,000 in a week? Does that sound like a problem that you'd like to have? Does that sound like a good problem to have? I think so. I wouldn't complain if that happened to me. Well, I'm gonna tell you how to do that. This is something today we're gonna go over called a video sales letter, which is basically called a VSL, okay? There's many formats to this. In fact, if you've watched the videos on how to make content and the 3 structures of content that I gave you, it's kind of similar to that. But this is now in a video format. Now let me tell you, at first this was the hardest thing for me to do. This was like nerve-wracking. I was actually speaking to Alejandro about this, who's behind the camera. I was saying at first I never was really used to shooting VSLs, and it was very uncomfortable because I would put on a persona when I was selling that was kind of like a salesman-ish, which was different than my coaching persona. My behaviors and my language and everything was different. So what happened was there's different evolutions that I would go through in my video sales letters. At first, I would sound like I'm just sharing information. So if you just sound like you're talking to a friend, that's a great way to kind of present the information as a sales letter. There's a guy that does marketing. I don't know him very well. I've heard some not so great things about him. I'm not recommending you follow him, but look at Dean Blazat. I can't remember his name, Dean something. If you look at the way he kind of just talks like he's talking to a friend, like it's just a guy sharing information, like it's just having a chat with you, that is a great way to do a sales letter, because people don't want to watch a video sales letter and feel like they're being sold. That was my first kind of process. My second process was I got really good at like sounding excited and pumped about things and like sounding really like assertive. And I thought that was great, but actually that wasn't what people wanted either. And then I kind of like went like very like intimate, passionate, personal, and that didn't work either. I think the most important thing with the sales letter is you're just having fun in the video while you're talking about the thing that you're talking about, and you have to be genuinely excited and passionate about what you're offering to them. If you're able to do that, it's gonna be fine. And you have a structure, and those things combined, it's gonna be great. So yeah, have fun in the video, be passionate about what you're talking about, and have a great format for it. So today we're gonna talk about the format that goes into a video sales letter. Is this the best format you could ever use? No, but it was highly successful in what I wanted to do. This was a 6-minute, it was called video sales letter. It was 6 minutes long, but it's also 6 minutes, so it's long enough that I can put it as a end cap. And an end cap is like when you record a video, let's say you record a 15-minute video on a subject, you can attach this to the end of it, and it's like the last 20% of the video time. So it's not incredibly horrible, right? It's like the person's not offended to watch it because it's kind of fun. That's another thing. If the video sales letter is fun, people will watch it over and over again, and they'll actually find value in watching the video sales letter because it's fun and enjoyable. So the best example of this would be like those late night infomercials on TV that sell you the mop or sell you the cool device. Those things are 30-minute long commercials, but they're kind of fun to watch because they have stories and adventure, and they're a little exciting sometimes, and so people can get value from watching them. They can be motivated or inspired. So I would do a lot of that in my video sales letter as well. So just to say it again, is this the best version of what you should do? No, but it has some really cool elements in it, and I think the combination of the elements work together. A great video sales letter is like a painting. This is a funny way to say it, but it's like a painting. And if you can have all the right elements, but if you put them together in kind of a cool way, it will really work. And with the runtime of this, it was just perfect. I was able to leave this as a standalone video. I would be able to use this as an ad. I would be able to use this as a piece of motivational content, and I would also be able to use this as a end cap. So that's what I was thinking when I was making this video. And it's just great. There's a lot of steady cam movements in there, and where the camera's moving and it's energetic. We're out in the streets and there's people buzzing. That's always gonna do better than if you're just like you against a white wall, like just standing, hey guys, what's up? Like that could work, but you out having fun while you're explaining the thing is always gonna have more engagement, and people are gonna be more glued to it than if you're just like you in a room doing it, right? So that's what I found. My best ones I've ever done were like me on the street, like in the middle of traffic. It's like chaotic, and it's like, wow, this is exciting, right? There's an energy, there's a buzz to the video. So we'll review it now, and I'll break down some of the parts of the sequence as I notice them. So this part is kind of cool because I started off by calling it an announcement. I've noticed that works. If you call it like sales letter, new product, nobody cares, but they care about an announcement. They're excited about that. What are you announcing, right? So this intro, although I didn't start talking right away, it kind of like built mystery, and it kind of was artistic, and it worked well.
You know, one of the strangest compliments that I get sometimes is, Madison, love your stuff. That game stuff wouldn't work in my city, good sir. Try that in my city. The girls are different here. Well, I've had this really fortunate situation, right?
So one of the cool things I do here is I say, one of the funniest compliments that I get, I just start by telling a story. I don't even get into like, I have this offer or what's your problem. It's like, one of the craziest things that happened recently is it's a story, right? And a story is engaging. A story is a great way to start off any kind of video or video sales letter. And then I go straight into here, what would be called like an authority stack. I'm showing myself in different places around the world, different clients I've worked with, different things I've done. And this is great because it relates directly to the content. So what I'm offering in this video sales letter is a program that's available anywhere around the world. So I'm showing you me around the world. It's like what I'm saying is a story and I'm showing as the authority stack directly relates to what I'm selling. Let's say, for example, you were selling reishi mushrooms. You would just start by telling a story about mushrooms, or one time you went hiking and you found mushrooms, or like your grandfather taught you about mushrooms and you would show footage of that. And that would be really cool because it's a story about the thing that you're about to set up and offer them. But it's a setup, right? It's a nice setup and it makes sense.
I get to travel across the world and I learn cultures by meeting people. Every single week, I'm meeting 500 people in your city and I'm learning culture in that moment. Not how it was 5 years ago, not by going to restaurants, but by meeting people. So I'm gonna bring all that good fortune to you and teach you how to do it in your city.
Okay, cool. So I talk about the experience that I've gained. I don't even mention the program, okay? One of the things that an old coach taught me that helped me with marketing, he says, no one cares about your product or your program. They care about what it does for them and the problem and why it's gonna work. So I talk about all the experience and how it's gonna relate and why it's an important thing. I don't even talk about no one knows what the program yet. The program has not even been introduced and we're about 20% into the video and the product hasn't been introduced yet, right? That's very important. And I introduce myself only at this point because no one cares about who I am either. None of that matters.
Bringing you the 1 week immersion. That's right, I'm coming to your town, select cities across the world, and I'm gonna take you out for 7 days of madness, mayhem, and legendary experience with...
Okay, so I finally wrap up that whole story about traveling and meeting people and culture and why it's important, and I finally say then, all right, by the way, I'm coming to your city and I'm doing this. So it makes sense, and I say, all right, I'm gonna take you out for 7 days of madness, mayhem, and legendary experiences. That was actually something I thought about in advance, okay, that exact quote, madness, mayhem, and legendary experiences. I just thought it had like a cool ring to it, like MML, like madness, mayhem, and I don't know, if I could have thought of something else, it would have made sense. Just cool words that are exciting, right? I'm gonna take you up for 7 days of madness and mayhem and whatever. If you did a spiritual event, you could take I'm gonna take you up for 7 days of detox, enlightenment, and mind-blowing experience. Like whatever it is, it's just a fun way to talk about what you're about to do.
This 1 week immersion is very special because I'm gonna come to your city. You're not gonna fly out to some vacation destination and get fake confidence for a week. We're gonna go to your city so we get you that rock solid foundation of confidence in areas that you frequently visit. A lot of guys say to me, Madison, I'd love to work with you, but I can't fly out to some vacation destination. I can't come to Miami, I can't come to Vegas, I can't come to Toronto. I got a job I gotta maintain. Well, this allows you to not take time off of work, cut off your life, have to book a hotel for a week.
Okay, cool. So this is the what it is part. What's the program? All right, the program is I'm coming to your city and I'm working with you. Cool. Well, what's the benefit of that? I start now highlighting the benefits of working with you in your city. Here's the first benefit. You don't have to spend any money on travel. Great. What's another benefit? Well, start to think about things that maybe they didn't think of. So I'm like, okay, a benefit would be that they get confidence in their own city, not in the city that they travel to. A lot of times you go on vacation, you feel great on vacation, you have a fake confidence because you're on vacation and you're getting drunk and you're on the beach. That's not real life. Oh, it's a benefit that it's in your home. Okay, so I'm starting to think about, this was actually really challenging for me because I'm like, there's no benefit to staying in your town. I had to start thinking about what are the benefits that are automatically inside of this program and start to highlight the benefits. Now, if you have an event, let's say in your event, people have to fly out for it, you can actually highlight that as a benefit. You could say, you know what, you're always in your town, you're always seeing the same people. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and have new experiences and challenge yourself outside of your own, it could be a benefit. Whatever the features are of the program, you try to just find the benefits of it. And I'm doing that right now, features and benefits, and I'm highlighting why it's great to go out to this program and do it for the duration of 7 days, why it's great to leave your town, why it's great to blah, 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 blah.
8 years ago, I was the co-founder of All the Inner Circles with Nick, and I went around the globe meeting guys and creating these communities.
All right, cool. So this part I started talking about, I'm not new to this. I've been doing this since 2013, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you might not have been doing your coaching since 2013. You're probably not, probably doing it less than a year or whatever, right? But the point of what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show what went into the program. I don't want to say, I got this brand new program, I had an idea last night. I'd rather say, I've been thinking about this for 5 years. I've been mulling it over since it's 5 years in the making, or I put hundreds of hours of practice into it, or the program is 30 hours long, or whatever it is. I want to start showing the depth of the program and how much went into creating the program. So it adds value to it without me just saying I have it, right? It's kind of like Rolex watches. This is not a Rolex, this is like Armani, but Rolex watches, they'll say, they're handmade, precision made by a person, and they're done slowly, and they're off by only a millisecond a year, or something like this. Like they'll get into the details of it, of how much went into really creating it, so people value what it is that's being offered, because they don't know. They don't know the research time. Research time is also an important thing that can go into creating a program. So the research time, the effort, the investment. We invested $5,000 in creating this video. We invested $20,000 in it. It's an important thing for them to know. It could be a time investment that you made, a financial investment. Just what went into creating this thing that they're about to hear about. It also gets them very excited about it, because they don't even know what the program is yet. But to get somebody excited about it, they want to know what goes into it. It's kind of like if you had a hot date and the date's like, it takes me 3 hours to get ready. You're like, oh, 3 hours? What are they doing in that 3 hour time? They must be doing their makeup, their hair, they're ironing, what are they taking a shower? Like, oh, you're excited to hear about what they're doing in the process of getting ready to present this thing to you.
This community that we're building, that you're going to be a part of, is irreplaceable because it's one of a kind. It's made up of people that are absolutely dedicated and committed. You are never going to find another environment like this. This community is here to build you up when you feel weak, to support you when you don't know what to do, and to help you move forward in your goals. This community is here for you. What you're going to get on this.
Okay, so I started talking about the features now, not just of coming out to your city. I'm talking about now the features of community, which is one of the parts of the program. So in the program, it's a large group of people, and I started to highlight what community means. Community means support. It means feedback. Community means encouragement. Community means a brotherhood. Community, I heard to highlight all the points. I'm like, boom, 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 different bullet points of what community is. And then I'm going to the next feature of the program, all the features and benefits of it. The next feature of the program, all the features and benefits of it. I'm kind of going in silos and highlighting the main things of this program.
1 week immersion is 7 legendary days of Rampage. Not only that, but hit up tables as well. Then there's day game.
So now I'm going into the fact that it's 7 days. We haven't even explored that yet. It's crazy, right? The program is called 1 week immersion, but I didn't even explore that. I explored the fact that you don't have to fly out first, and I explored community, and now I'm exploring the fact that it's 7 days. It's like I now just get to this in the middle of the video. Isn't that crazy? Because the 7 days isn't the benefit of the program. If you're like, I have a 3-day challenge, nobody gives a fuck that it's 3 days. It's not a benefit. The benefits of why you would get it is the community. The benefits of why you would get it is the fact that it's in my town, my cost, the additional confidence I get in my hometown. This is what's important, not the fact that it's 7 days. That's the least important fact of the program. That's not nobody cares about the 7 days. It's what are they getting out of it. So now I'm starting to explore the 7 days. I'm like, all right, we're gonna go out into the daytime and meet people in the day in your regular coffee shops, like how you do in regular life. We're gonna go out at nighttime. We're gonna socialize with strangers that you're intimidated by at night. We're gonna do, so I started breaking down the segments of the days. The whole point of this is not just to break it down, but really to point out like value that people might have been missing that they wouldn't think of themselves. They would just kind of like not think about it, right? They kind of just like glance over it. So I can even do that with like ice cubes. And it's not because I'm a sales guy, it's just because I'm thinking of ice cubes, right? And I can do it with ice cubes, and I can present ice cubes in a way that would make sense. It's like, well, what do you get to do with ice cubes? You get to be cold on a hot day. What else? You get to entertain people around you. You have a party, you get ice cubes in the drink. What else do you get to do with ice cubes? You get to put it on your eye or your forehead if you get sore. You get to reduce swelling, right? All the benefits of ice cubes, like it's like social benefits of ice cubes, temperature benefits of ice cubes, eating benefits of ice cubes. Oh, they're in your fridge. It's convenience benefits of ice cubes. I'm just breaking it down from angles that people might just know but not really think about. Usually they would skip over it.
Fashion. We're going to show you how to find clothes that fit your particular body and your style so you can express yourself and make a great first impression.
So now I continue talking about some of the features. Okay, I say for fashion, we're going to take you out and do fashion shopping. Well, what does that do? I've never done it before. What does that do? Well, it helps you to learn how to express yourself, right? Because that's important. Why is it important to express yourself? Also, will help you make a good first impression. Okay, that's another benefit of fashion. I'm really just breaking everything down, like just breaking it down in a way that's just, it makes sense. And it sounds like I'm just talking about it. Like I'm sharing with somebody why things are important. Like, why did you get that microphone? I got this one because da-da-da-da. I got this glass of water here because da-da-da-da. I'm just like explaining all the becauses to them and doing it in a very just kind of energetic and fun way.
Imagine being in a room with me where I show you exactly how it's done. I break it down for you. You can ask me any question that you've never been able to ask me before.
Thanks for everything, man. Like, you really helped me get out of a rut last year when I went to your hot seat last year. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you for this, for the last couple hours.
I realized what's been holding me back is just the belief, like, oh, I'm not good enough, oh, I'm not this. I'm like, no, like, if he can do it, if these guys can do it, I can do it too, you know, it's all the same.
I want to introduce
Okay, so that kind of just very naturally fits in. About halfway through, I started to talk about people's experiences working with me. When you do this, try to resist, be like, people work with me and they love it. That's not the idea. The idea is like, you love helping them and they are thankful of it. That's the idea. You love helping people and they are grateful of the experience or the transformation. You could focus on what the transformation actually is, or you can focus on the fact that they're happy to have had the experience. I think both are very strong. I think really good success stories have a combination of both. Like, so you might have somebody at your program that's like, I eventually got over my fear of talking to my grandfather about the war. You might have somebody who just goes, I feel great, I never felt so wonderful, and thank you so much. Both are equally powerful, right? You need a combination of both, not just, because some people are results oriented and some people are feelings oriented. So it's a little bit of both is what actually I think is an important story, because people are coming to have an experience, right? A program is not just about the result you deliver. People can do that at home watching a video, but to come out to a program, it's like, what do you want to experience, right? Or focus on the experience here. I think that's why also this video was so powerful and $30,000 in its first week.
to this idea of locking in. And if you don't know what locking in is, then you've been living underneath a rock. That's when you cut out all distractions. You get clear on what your goal is, and you only take behaviors that move you towards that goal. If you got approach anxiety, best believe you need to lock in. If you happen to want 9s or 10s, but you're dealing with 7s and 8s, you need to start learning how to lock in. If you just go to work all the time and you're too busy to practice game, you can't find this free moments to do it, you need to learn to lock in. If you don't even know what your goals are, take some time, focus on them, be clear, and learn to lock in. Now what you're gonna get is your own.
So this is really cool. This is something I don't do very often, but I actually am looking at this and I want to go back to it even more. Now that I've explained the program, I want to introduce like a way of thinking about life and a way of thinking about the world around you, how to operate yourself in the world around you. So I talk about this idea of locking in. And I got this idea of locking in actually from Puff Daddy, Diddy. He had this like video, he's like, lock in, you gotta lock in. And I thought it was kind of cool and people don't usually talk about it. And I explain locking in as cutting off all distractions and having an opportunity to focus on something, and that's your only goal. Now, this idea of locking in directly relates to the program I'm offering. And see how it makes sense? It's like, if you're gonna go for this program, you gotta learn to lock in. You gotta be somebody who's locking in. I expand this idea of locking in, right? So I make it sort of like an idea of conducting your life and being that kind of person who would do it. And I think this is really cool because it further makes sense of why you would want to do this. It's like, even if you don't care about the program, the 7-day program, wouldn't you want to be somebody that locks in? Wouldn't you want to be somebody who cuts off distractions? Wouldn't you want to be somebody who goes for what you want? And I'm talking about this all in this concept of locking in. And it's like, you might not even want the program, but yeah, I like the concept of locking in. It's almost like putting a little value segment inside of the video. So it's like a video sales letter, but then I stop for a minute and I just talk about a concept and I give some value about a concept, and then I go back to the sales letter again.
Own personal dedicated mastermind group. This is gonna come from the wingmen in your area who are also like-minded.
I just want to say thank you, man.
Thank you, dude. Thank you for coming, dude.
It was really spontaneous. We weren't planning, but we saw you on the free tour. And then we were just like so amazed.
I want to say fucking thank you, man.
Thank you. Fucking thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, for me this was more than I could ever get from therapy. Not that I do it, but I feel like this is so fucking useful. Thanks a lot, man.
Thanks for the value.
I appreciate you coming here every year.
There is nothing that
Cool, so back to more the stories, right? It's like guys just saying like, they came in, they locked in, and they were happy that they did it. That's all, just showing that, kind of emphasizing that idea. I think what locking in is really cool because it's like, again, sharing value about an idea and how they can apply this idea to their life and apply this idea to the program. I think it's so awesome. So when you're doing your letter, your video sales letter, think, what is a concept that you can talk about that people could apply in their life and also apply this concept to your program? That would be really interesting. That would be like very, very, very high level. And this wasn't a natural thing for me. I had talked to my assistant about it for like 2 or 3 days, and we were just kind of like talking about this idea on the subway and on the metro and on the airplane. We were just kind of like talking about this idea, and it was really cool. And we're like, most people don't know how to lock it in life. They don't know how to commit. They don't know how to like fully go in. And then we talked about what that means to do it, and then we're like, oh, that'd be great. Yeah, that's one of the benefits they get from doing the program, is they get an opportunity to lock in. And we highlighted that as a reason that somebody should do it.
that comes close to replacing real life community. No webinar or chat group or BS teleconference even comes close. To be honest, those are just pathetic excuses for a replacement. Real life is where it's at. Think about all the BS excuses that you give yourself. How do you accept mediocre results for yourself and mediocre commitment?
So this part of the video, I'm doing something I haven't done in a long time actually. To be honest, I haven't done this in like 2 years, but I should really do more of it. I actually like watching this because it reminds me. This is called dividing the audience, okay? And this is a phase, dividing the audience. At some point, you have to separate the people from that are serious and are not serious. You might have even heard that line. If you ever bought a program from somebody, they say, are you serious or you're not serious? Well, you don't have to say that. A better way to divide the audience is say, I'm talking about this is a live program. So this is not like a BS webinar or a little WhatsApp group or a little, those in-person, those things that are not in person. In person is where it's at. In person is where you have tangible results because you're part of a community, right? In person is the way to go because you can feel it, you can taste it, you can smell it. So I'm dividing the audience there for people who are like, I just want a webinar. It's like, nope, in person. And then I split the audience again because I say, all right, are you somebody who doesn't lock in and just is uncommitted and somebody who just gives up on themselves and doesn't follow through? Because I talked about locking in before, and I split the audience again. At some point, you have to split them because you can't try to appeal to everybody. You got to like make them make a decision in their mind about what kind of person they are. Ultimately, when people buy programs, it's possibly because of the program, but they're also deciding what kind of person they want to be. This is very important. Check this out, okay? They're deciding who they want to be. It's not just the program. It's like, do you want to be somebody who's committed? Do you want to be somebody who shapes your own destiny? Somebody who makes decisions for themselves? Somebody who takes adventure, That's what it's really about. So for example, quick story, here Alejandro behind the camera, he was telling me that when he came out to work with me in one of the cities, he did it mainly, one of the reasons was he didn't want to be the way he was before. He decided he had to do something about it now. And he really had like 2 weeks time to prepare, but he said, this is my opportunity. So part of it was the opportunity, but I think part of it was also, what kind of person do I want to be? Do I want to be a person who just does the regular thing and does the regular stuff all the time? He mentioned his dad was in construction, right? right? So, and his dad would take contract jobs for construction. So he kind of made a mental commitment that he didn't want to be that person. He made a mental commitment that he wanted to be somebody else and to shape his future and destiny. And so that was a decision that was made in that moment. Yes, it was the opportunity to go do a new kind of work, but it was also the opportunity to be a different type of person. And I think when people get programs that commit heavy into programs, like especially something that's like a week long or gotta travel for it, they're making a decision about who they want to be. So you have to divide the audience. You have to do it. If you don't do it, then they're not making that strong enough decision to be somebody who's gonna take action. Does that make sense? They gotta like make a strong decision, cut off other options, decide that they are that person, and then it would make sense for them to take that action.
I think that part, it's also like making them feel the pain of how they are at that moment. And with that question, making them do the decision. So it's like,
yeah.
Are you the guy that are feeling this kind of pain, and are you willing to get out of it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're making them face the hard reality of their life, or the hard reality of the decision they made, and do they want to keep making that decision? And that's how you divide the audience. That's actually how you would do it in the steps, you know, like talking about what you said, the pain that they're experiencing, that they've been through, and then what will happen if they don't commit to it, and do you want to still keep doing that? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, goodbye.
Yeah.
It's very blunt, it's very hard. It kind of sounds rude sometimes when you do it, but at a certain point you have to do it because it's going to help the person. I'll do this in my coaching too, right? At my coaching, if I'm working with a student, I'll say, I thought you were somebody who wanted to change your life. I thought you were somebody who was committed. You're here, you showed up, you paid the money. Are you someone that wants to waste your money and waste your own time? If you are, please go. Mm-hmm. And they go, no, I'm already here, I did this. And you're helping them to reconfirm in their mind what they already want to do. You're helping them to follow through with what they've already decided. Reality in the face, decide. Are you this person or that person? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And it's like jumping in a cold water. It shocks you. It's like, oh, okay. And in that moment, those kind of questions make you decide yes or no. You know, decide yes or no right away.
And those who are committed always find a way. So the question I got for you is, how badly do you want it? Click the link down below, see my upcoming tour schedule, and get serious.
So let's analyze the structure of the video here again. Just kind of like to go through it. What did I do? I talked about a story, right? Then I talked about my experiences traveling, how much work went into the traveling, and what I learned from it, and my experience in the program, all my investment into the program. And then I mentioned the program finally. And then I mentioned the features and benefits of it, and I put it into groups, okay? Put it into groups. No one cares that it's 7 days long. I mentioned the community. I mentioned not having to travel, the features and benefits of that. And I mentioned the features and benefits of being locked in, right? And then I said, okay, also, yeah, 7 days. What's the advantage of it being 7 days? And I mentioned the features and benefits of that. It's very simple. And then after that, I did some success stories. People were just really appreciative. They were emotional, right? Just emotional success stories. Not the result they got, but just the emotion that they were satisfied or they felt resolution, or they're excited. They were appreciative. It's just that. Went into the idea of locking in, right? More clear, this commitment of locking in, more success stories again. And then I went into, dividing the audience, very, very hardcore dividing the audience. What kind of person do you want to be? Are you this kind of person? Or are you that kind of person? Who do you want to commit to being? Make a decision, you know? Are you lying to yourself? Are you lying to yourself by not committing all the time? And I just went to that, and I kind of just dropped the link at the end of it. But I did it very, very, very well. It was super simple, super simple. Now these days, I'd probably do something more complicated, but this was super simple and super effective. It was emotionally effective, and it was also entertaining and fun and outgoing. We're outdoors and stuff like that. It's cool. Now, if you noticed, I only dropped the link for the program 2 times in the video. I think one time was like when I mentioned what the program was, and then once at the end. Only 2 times I mentioned it. Click the link twice. Or here's the website twice. Only 2 times. The website was on the screen less than maybe 20 seconds in the whole video, but it made the point. By the time the website was mentioned, the person has made an emotional commitment about who they are and what kind of life they want to live and how they want to conduct their life, so that when the link is dropped, they're like, yep. Because it's never about the program, it's never about the link, it's about who they want to be, what kind of decisions they make, what they're willing to sacrifice, what they want to achieve, and all those other things that you point out that are important. It's never about the actual just clicking the link or the actual program until it is. Until it is. And of course you deliver on that end too, right? The only reason why I have those great success stories is because I actually fulfilled the promise that I made in the video. I actually made transformations and people were happy. And that's the only reason why I had those success stories. You know, so I did deliver on the actual program too, which is important to do that, not just create these big promises. You know, some people will go in and make videos where they just make a bunch of promises, like you're gonna make $10,000, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna be adventurous, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna have travel. They just make a bunch of promises, and I think promises are not great videos. They work, but they're important. The most important thing is getting the person to an emotional place in the video where they are trusting of you, trusting of the process, trusting of the confidence, and trusting of themselves. And I think when I went to the lock-in part, what kind of person do you want to be, I pointed out how they might not be trusting themselves and how now might be a great opportunity for them to lock in. And it really made it work very strongly. So yeah, that's the video. One of my best ones. Did 30,000 in a week, continued to sell after that. I had another great video that came out probably about 2 months earlier that did 25,000 or 20,000. I won't show that one to you, it's a little bit aggressive. So I won't show you that one, but all these videos were really, really good, and I learned a lot. And I think these are some of my best videos I've done because they were just so engaging, and fun and energetic, and the way I described things was great. And yeah, I just enjoyed it. It's like watching it like you knew that you were being offered something, but it made sense to you if you were that person. It's what you would want to do and what you wanted to see. So yeah, it's great. Anyways, that's it.